Oh, yeah. What's going on, everybody, man? I'd like to take this time to welcome you guys to the Black Cat Panther podcast. Come on in the building, man. Make sure as you come on in, you like, you comment, you subscribe to the channel. It's your boy Dub Q, and we in the building. Look, you see what time it is. It's Carolina Panther draft grades. We're going to talk about each edition. We're going to talk about what they mean to the Carolina Panthers, and we're going to talk about how well these boys are looking when it comes to did we get better or did we, stay the same. But before we do anything, I'd like to take this time, like I said, to welcome everybody on in. Comment, like, subscribe. Let's show that love on the way in. The number one thing that I loved about this draft after coming through what we went through last year's draft, it seemed like there was a major vision this year for the draft. It seems that young Canales, like I said, the rookie coach that he was, came into this draft with a great plan. Him, Dan Morgan, they had their eyes set on certain players. They had their heart set out to get guys that they felt that could be vital to the success of young Bryce Young, and they really stuck to guys that they felt like could help and mold their direction for this year's 2024 Carolina Panthers. So it was pretty dope. Like I said, taking our time this past weekend and just going through and looking at a lot of the different guys that they potentially had in mind. It was good. Shout out to Panther Theory, man. What's going on with you, Elaine? Y'all show that brother some love over there at his channel, Panther Theory. Great content over there. Make sure y'all go over there, subscribe over there, and show some love. Flame for Jesus, what's happening? I hope you had a great day too, as well. Y'all come on in. Like I said, the number one thing that I want to get off my chest. I believe that this year we had a scouting report. I believe that we followed the scouting report. Now, when I say that, I mean last year, no matter what we scouted, no matter what we did, it seemed like a lot of the picks was made last year off of pure emotion or pure I want this person or let me pick this person or you pick that person. It was just like the Spider-Man emojis. Spider-Man memes where everybody just standing there pointing at each other. I want this person. I want that person. It wasn't well thought out. It was not what we expected when we wanted to see a draft last year. So hence, fast forward, you come to the draft this year, and it seems like I said that Dan Morgan and Canales came together on one page, and from what I saw, it seems to be that once they had their mind set on a guy, they didn't care if the board went up or the board went down. We saw a bevy of opportunities where players fell. Like you saw Zerhan Newton, the three technique D tackle, he fell. And it was one of the things where you had a chance to really, you know, grab some guys that you could look and say, okay, this guy's gonna make the Panthers better. That guy could potentially make the Panthers better. But like I said, the Panthers were hell bent on sticking to their plan. Number one, they had their eyes on Xavier Legette. Xavier Legette, to me, um, this is where it could be hit or miss. You got a guy with a lot of potential, a 50-50 ball guy that could be dominant, or if you miss on this guy, like I said, what's the floor? He got a lot of different strengths. He got a lot of different weaknesses. But I like what the guy could bring to the table. One, energy. His energy is infectious. His energy really, 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 it feels like everybody feeds off of that energy that Xavier Legette has. There's some people that has that natural magnetism. And like I said, he makes you want to root for him. And I like Xavier Legette. He was not my pick. He was not anybody that I wanted. But when I sit here and I looked at it and I said, okay, this guy right here on this team should be able to do A, B, Y, and Z. This guy right here could be a bona fide number one target. This guy right here has the size He has the speed at 6'3", running a 4.39. This guy has everything that you could ask for in a receiver. So you look at him and you say, number one, what are you going to ask him to do in year one? And that's the number one thing. Legette is a guy to me that he's shifty enough to come in and across the field, give you a lot of different things, short passes, intermediate passes. He should be able to catch those balls. Um, be mindful. He has deep threat speed if he needs to. If they have stuff drawn up for him to go deep down the field, he should be a guy that could be able to go down the field and make plays for it. So I'm I, I'm encouraged one because no matter what the Carolina Panthers did, they stuck to their plan. They said Xavier Legette was their guy. They were hell bent on sticking to Xavier Legette. And so I can't be mad at that at all. That's what the Carolina Panthers did. I don't think anybody now hear me clearly when I say this. I don't think anybody is upset with the pick Xavier Legette. I think a lot of people had a problem with us trading up in the first round to go and get Xavier Legette. And I think that's what a lot of people had a lot of different rah-rah, noise, confusion, whatever you want to call it. That's what it was. Because I think you could name about 10 or 11 different receivers in this draft that you could say, hey, I wanted this guy before Xavier Legette. A lot of people do that. Like you saw, and you got to look at where we sat at in the draft. And that's what I'm saying. Shout out to everybody who's coming in. What's going on with you, Earl? You got to look at it. You had a chance to get a bevy of guys like shifty guys like Malachi Corley. We had Keon Coleman sitting right there. Roman Wilson, a bevy of guys. Troy Franklin, Adonai Mitchell, Lad McConkey, Brian. I mean, you got to look at what was sitting there when we went up in the first round. And they said, hey, we want this guy. This guy is our guy. He's going to fit our system. He's going to fit in well with the locker room. He's going to fit in with Bryce Young. This is who we wanted. And for that particular receiver, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to give them a B minus. I'm going to give them a B minus for getting this guy because, like I said, he wasn't my particular number one. To me, I wanted Troy Franklin. If the Panthers would have pulled Troy Franklin maybe in the second round, I would have potentially gave us probably because one, you're looking at the yardage, the production, you're looking at the size, the speed. Troy Franklin would have been a bona fide go-to target. And to me, like I said, I would have gave Troy Franklin per se maybe an A minus or a high B, a B plus, because that would have fit the need. And he to me, this is me personally, he was just a little bit more dynamic. But Legette is not a bad option. Legette, like I said, is a guy that can come in, be dominant, and take the reins of the receiver and take it to the next level. So, I mean, 4.3 speed in a 40-yard dash, you can't duplicate that. The cat has speed. He can run. He can get out here. Like I said, and the funny thing is his NFL comp was Mingo, who's currently on our team right now. That's crazy. They look at guys and styles. They said Kadarius Toney, Jonathan Mingo was his NFL comp. And it's mostly because of what he does best. And his reported strengths, he was a reliable receiver with the ability to make difficult catches in traffic alongside of the sidelines. He has excellent acceleration and incredible top speed, capable of outrunning any corner. Now that's the scouting report on this young fella. He has ideal height and possesses a solid build. Built like a linebacker with strong hands, effective in pulling in ball and contested balls in situations. I'm sorry about that. Now be mindful, they say his number one strength is he excels in vertical routes with his combination of size, athleticism, and body control, that's where he gonna get his wins at in the vertical game. So, with that being said, he's a real flexible guy, real agile. He can maintain speed while doing turns. Mango is, I'm sorry, not Mango. Legette is what you would want in a receiver and a bona fide number one. Now, this is the thing. This was the reported weaknesses on him. The tendency to let deep throws get into his pads and his chest area while securing it with his hands. Um, they say he needs development in recognizing and sitting down against zone coverages. So on plays where they ask him to get down, whether it's a post or out, he gotta do a lot better in recognizing where to go with the ball or where the ball is going to be delivered. He has to be there. So this is another thing. This final year with him, we really only seen him break out this final year. So, like I said, the scouting report for him is going to be a little bit different because yes, he had production. He gave you over 1,200 yards, but you want to make sure that that's not a 1 year thing with this guy. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see. I can't wait to put him out there, see what he looks like. This is what I'm talking about this year for camp. I can't wait to really go out there and really see a lot of these guys first thing. So that's my assessment on Xavier Legette. I give him a B minus. Like I said, you can't misstep on the 6'2" height, 6'1", 6'2" height, the 4.39 speed. And like I said, he was a greatly rated receiver. Shout out to Dan Morgan and Canales for knowing what they wanted and went and got this guy. Now, this is the next tricky one because at the running back position, I don't think nobody thought that we would have taken a running back in the second round. Nor would we trade out of 39 and acquire a second round pick. So basically, it's like we flipped Brian Burns for 2 second rounders, which is pretty dope. Because you get the 39 pick, you trade back, and then you get a pick for next year in 2025. And then this year right here, it was pretty good, man. So shout out to the Panthers for making that happen. And then when they trade back, they traded up to get Jonathan Brooks. Jonathan Brooks, to me, was the best back in this entire draft. You seen him on the thumbnail. You seen it. Your boy Dub Q probably going to be copping that jersey real quick, fast, and in a hurry. I'm trying to tell y'all, that boy nice. So at 6 foot, 216 pounds, coming from Texas, the guy, his 40 time was a 4.45. So, like I said, he's a workhorse back. That was his role over in Texas. He's 20 years old, so he's real young right now. We got a lot of time with this young fella. This is the number one thing with him. His breaking tackles ability is second to none. His rushing ability is second to none. This guy has great receiving hands. He can pass block as well as do a little bit of run blocking if he need to. So this is what I like about him. Brooks got light feet, excellent stop on the dime. Boom, boom, he can stop. And I'm telling you, he has great balance and the ability to contort from any tackles, that's going to challenge him. This guy can get away from any tackle cut. He can elude anybody. He sells play action very well, and he shows a deep knowledge of offensive schemes. As a receiver, he shows clean hands and an impressive catch radius, capable of making off-target receptions. I'm telling you, man, what I love about Brooks, and to me, this was the meat and the potatoes of the draft right here because you get the best running back in the draft. And like I said, I never expected the Panthers to take him in the second round. I thought potentially if they were to look for a running back, it would have been about third round because every mock draft we did, we had him or either Braylon Allen coming to the Carolina Panthers. And we had Jatavion Sanders going in the second with that 39 pick. So it was a little interesting to see how they maneuvered that. But I love it because you say, hey, this is the guy we want. We want Jonathan Brooks. We're going to make sure we do everything that we can to get Bryce Young a power running back, a power feature back, that, like I said, he has an ACL right now, but when healthy, you get the best back in all of college football. Bijan, Jameer Gibbs, we got our very own guy. And right now in the NFC South, you probably got the third best running back right now, and he hasn't even played a snap. And that's just me being real with you. I'm very high on this guy because, like I said, Bijan, it's a toss up between Bijan and Kamara right now for who's the best running back in the NFC South right now. Well, it's going to be not long before this guy eclipses both of them. He got a chance to be the best running back in the league. That's just how high his ceiling is. I'm very high on him, like I said. This draft, once again, I'm going back to it, is about knowing what you wanted and making sure that you executed on what you wanted. Shout out to Dan Morgan. Like I said, and I've been one of the hardest critics on Dan Morgan all year long. All year long. Because the number one thing is I thought he was going to be a yes man. I thought he was going to come in here and do Tepper's will, and I thought we would potentially botch another draft. But thank God that he saw fit that we didn't do that. And I'm going to call a spade a spade. To me, this was a great pick, a great pickup for your team. And I'm going to be real with you. I would pick this cat up twice on a Sunday if I could. Bro, I mean, like I said, it's very seldom you get superstars. When you get a guy that's on, and when he is on, there is no cutting him off. I mean, I'm going to show you a couple of clips from him. I'm going to show you guys a couple of clips from him. Like I said, I came prepared for my boy tonight. Once again, I'm saying I'm getting that jersey, and I'm going to give away one of his jerseys probably next week or so. But yeah, this is him. Jonathan Brooks right here. You take a look at this guy right here. Watch the burst through the hole. Boom, nobody going to catch him. He gone. I'm trying to tell you, man, this guy right here is something special. Look at the distance between him and somebody else. That's just how explosive he is. You see that right there? That mini hole, he found it. Pew! He's gone off to the Raptors. So that's what I'm saying. When you got a guy that can run like that and have vision, oh my God. Watch out. Now I'm going to pause it right here. You see how this play is setting up? He about to hit that outside, and you got a choice. Either try to take it inside or go all the way outside. And this guy right here, the corner has no chance on this because the corner is stuck in between the receiver. This guy right here is just that dynamic. Now watch. He makes the corner. Oh, got him. Went inside. Boy, I'm telling you, man, it's a beautiful thing to see some of this running back play. We haven't seen this in Carolina for a while. We haven't seen this in Carolina for a while now. So I'm trying to tell you. Look at this right here. Look at it. Look at this right here. Not even a chance. They don't got a chance to catch this guy. He gone. He gone. If you slow footed with this guy, he gonna hit his head on the goalpost. That's all I'm telling you guys. So, like I said, I like the guy. I like what he brings to the table. You guys got to understand explosiveness when you see it. This guy right here is every bit of explosive. And like once again, dog, when this cat come in, I don't want to hear nobody say, Nope, no excuses. It's no excuses this year. I don't want to hear nobody mention to say, hey, they can't get this guy the ball, or they can't do this, or they can't do that. No excuses this year. This is what it's all about. Once again, I just showed it to you. This guy is everything that he's supposed to be as a running back. It's everything. Now, the next thing we're going to do, we're going to break down. Oh, well, first of all, shout out to everybody in the chat, man. My bad. I don't want to make y'all feel like I'm overlooking y'all. What's going on? Earl, I see you. What's happening? He'll use him like Mike Evans. I hear you, Flame for Jesus. Fish Bub, what's going on? Flame for Jesus said Worthy was number 1 and Legette was number 2. Be Good said the only thing you can say is with Legette he has physical tools, but Mingo and Terrence Marshall has that. Hey, they the same type of receiver, tell you the honest truth. TMJ I know can go on it. He made some contested catches with Sam Darnold. Bryce Young wouldn't throw it to him in single coverage. Hey, once again, shout out to everybody in the chat. Make sure you like this video right now as you coming on in. Show that love. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed right now. Look, it's a new day in Carolina. It's time to, take this thing to the next level. Fish Bub say my man was slippery. Easy, ease me. I ain't gonna even go with the Migos. I ain't about to do that. Supernova, step on that like button. Y'all already know what time it is. My boy Logic, what's happening? My man said drafting weapons isn't about the quarterback overall, how good the team is built. I hear you, the real sunchild. I hear you. Explosive weapons, man. Look, this is what it is. This year is no excuses whatsoever. So we could go into our next guy, which was 6'1" linebacker, 237 pounds, coming from Kentucky. Now this was a head scratcher for me because in the third round, I wanted a guy that could come out and be dynamic because that's like the last pick that you had that could be an essential, that could have been an essential starter. And it's like the third rounder that we got was Trevon Wallace, the linebacker. I'm not too high on this guy. 6'1", the measurables, like I said, 237 pounds. He's a great tackler, is what I'll say. I'll start off by saying he is a great tackler. And number one, when you're looking for a linebacker at his position, you want him to have what's the word? Extreme qualities. Either he can be a dynamic pass rusher or he can be a good run stopper defender. And this guy isn't particularly great in either or. He's just a great tackler, a sideline to sideline guy. But like I said, he's not a great pass rusher at all, and he is not a run defender. So he's going to have to grow into figuring out which one of these positions that he wants to be. So the thing is with this guy right here, like I said, to me it was a head scratcher getting him. But they say he has he's an elite overall athlete. He performed in the 90 plus percentile in both the 40 and the broad jump at the combine. They say he plays with a high energy style and has excellent foot speed and the ability to accelerate rapidly. So he's fast. His physical build includes a notable mass with arm length, which helps him when it comes to, I guess, tackling or shedding blocks. So it's just one of those ones. Like I said, I didn't want a linebacker here. So, I'm sorry, I didn't grade the last one. The running back, I give him an A minus. A minus. But Trevon Wallace right here, I'm going to give him a C. I'm going to give him a C because they're looking for the foreseeable future. I think this is a pick. He's 21 years old. He has a lot of growing. He's very raw right now. Like I said, he doesn't have one specific thing that he does great right now. So this is one of those things you sit and you look at him and you say, okay, how long before he takes off? How long before he has a chance to come out and be, dynamic? And it's going to take at least 2 to 3 years before this guy can really jump off the screen. So I'm hoping that they understand that Trevon Wallace from Kentucky, the linebacker that we got, like I said, I'm giving him a C. I need to see more from him. That's all it is. I need to see more, and I believe that, like I said, with time, he'll be fine. I just don't think he'll be fine this year. So that's all it is. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Make sure y'all like the video on y'all way in. The next pick for me, now I'm not going to even lie. For everything that I like about Jonathan Brooks, I love about this guy that was taken high in the second round. And I said to myself, how did we end up with this guy in the second round? In the fourth round. How did we end up with this guy in the fourth round? He was a second round talent that dropped. And I said to myself, okay, when you get a chance to get a guy like this caliber, you make things happen. And the Carolina Panthers did just that. They thought that this guy was going to be an exceptional, like I said, go-getter type of receiving tight end for them. And that's what they went and got. I'm very excited. I'm going to even show a little bit of film on this guy. Because like I said, I like what I see in him. And Ja'Tavion Sanders, big guy, bulky guy. Boom, look at them. Middle of the field, he always behind the linebackers. And if you miss him with a tackle, he's gone. Another star. To me, like I said, that Texas offense was second to none. And boy, with Jatavion Sanders and this guy right here, oh, I'm saying this guy snagged that with one hand, came back down with it like it was nothing. I mean, it was like child's play watching this guy get to it. And the more I say, the more I look at this guy, the more excited I get because we haven't had a tight end. We haven't had a tight end like this yet in years. We haven't had a tight end like this in years. So all I'm saying is Carolina Panthers went out and did their due diligence and get this guy, and I think he's going to be a star. Like I said, bada boom, fake off. We see where our guy at. Bada boom, Quinn Ewers delivers a dart. Watch him, watch me. He whipping. Uh-oh, here we go. Get off of me. Y'all don't want none of this right here. Come on. I love every second of this, man, because like I say, this guy is special. You had a team with him, Xavier Worthy. Like I said, Jatavion Sanders was the guy. 700 yards, 7 touchdowns. I love everything about this tight end right here, man. It's special to be able to get young fellas that could come in and be dynamic. Like I said, Jonathan Brooks was special. I showed you his film on him. That guy was the best running back in the league, in college football last year. Well, you get the second best tight end now in the entire league. I'm going to play a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Look at here. Faking a handoff right here. Watch this right here. They're going to find him down the field. Right down the field, wide open. Like I said, who that remind you of? You ain't seen a tight end do that in our system since Greg Olsen. Come on, let's just be real. Look, you haven't seen anything this athletic at the tight end position maybe since Greg Olsen. And I don't like to throw around that name too lightly. The OG Greg Olsen is one of my favorites. But all I'm saying right here is you got a dynamic tight end, and he'll flex on you too. Flex on him. I love everything about this, man. Look, once again, check him out right here. When they drop back on him and watch him make a play. Take the hit, but he made the play. He tough as nails, man. You got a guy, he'll shake it right on off like nothing to it. He tough as nails. So that's all I'm saying. My man say William Good said he doesn't block. I hear you, cuz. I hear you. He is a decent enough blocker. But think about it. In Texas, he didn't really have to block like that. But he was a good run blocker when he was blocking for the running back we just got. Brooks. Don't sleep on this guy. He is the boy nice. My man says show him get separation. Oh, here we go. Y'all, that separation stuff only works for guys like Mango. Mango needs to show you separation. This guy right here is dynamic without having to break y'all neck on separation. Don't do that. Don't discredit this man. But you see that play right there? That's a hard play to make across the field. And look right there. Bada boom. He had to come back to the ball because the ball was poorly thrown. A poorly thrown ball, he had to come back and make a play. He'll stick his head right on in there and make plays. All I'm saying is the boy is a star. I know some people don't like to think so, but look, he put the ball in the position right where it needed to be for him. Now, check this out. Bada boom, they drop back. They're going to find him right down the road. Here we go. You should keep your eyes on this guy at all times because he's going to always be ending down the field. That's all I'm saying. So, like I say, I know a lot of people don't care for the pick. I don't know. I don't understand what you wouldn't like about it. Maybe you want Tommy Trimble and Ian Thomas to still be over here catching balls from Bryce Young. Maybe that's what you want. Because I'm gonna be real with you. The boy can play. That's all I'm saying. So all I'm saying, we can move on to the next guy. The next guy, like I said, we end up taking in the draft. Oh my God. Well, first of all, let me give you his rating. To me, Jatavion Sanders, to me, is a B-. I'm gonna give him a B minus because all that you get from him, and I know everybody was like, well, they don't see that. This guy gonna be special. This guy's gonna be special, man. So just take your time, let it sink on in. This guy's gonna be a star here in the NFL. Like I said, you gotta make sure that before you do anything else, you get a guy that can one make your quarterback look better. He can be that blanket, that protection. He can be everything that you need him to be. And yeah, I think it's gonna be good to have him here. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. It's 94 of you guys in here. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe on your way on in. Um, we made a lot of different moves. Like I said, the next guy to me, which is Shaw Smith Wade, the cornerback, to me is a little bit interesting because I didn't see Shaw Smith Wade. I wanted a different guy. I wanted Kalen Carson. But that's who these guys had on their mind. So I can't be mad at it at all. Kalen Carson to me was a more complete corner. When you're talking about man coverage and wanting some things, but I'm looking at this right here like, okay, what was Dan Morgan's intention when they got this guy? What were they looking for? Because Shaw Smith Wade to me, he don't do anything. Well, I ain't gonna say he's the best way to put this is he's a slot corner. We picked up a slot corner that could play some of the outside, but the number one thing is he's a smaller corner. He's not the biggest, so he's gonna mature into exactly where we're gonna play him all the way across the field, which is in the slot. So he's gonna be a depth piece. I'm gonna grade this guy, and I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna try to be nice. I'm gonna give him probably a C. I mean, he's a depth piece. He's not a guy that's gonna challenge a starter anytime soon. Like I said, he's a smaller guy, but when we go up against some of the Mike Evans and some of the guys that's in the NFC South, that's bigger guys, I just don't want to see this boy get abused. I just don't want to see that. So I'm just gonna let that one be great. And then the last two, I'm gonna do them separately. D tackle Jalen Crumdy. This was a guy that I think that the Carolina Panthers went on the guy. You want to get a guy that could push the interior. Great run stopper. Big dude. He could come in and leave an impact as a rotational piece. This is another rotational piece. And I actually like the other guy, Michael Barrett from Michigan. And this is the crazy thing. When I heard the call, when he got the call from Dan Morgan, he sounded so pissed off from being in the seventh round. And I said, well, I hope he channels that and comes out on this field. He's a small linebacker. And did you guys hear what they asked him when they drafted? When they asked Dan Morgan when he got to the podium, they was like, okay, what was the thought process in getting this guy? And they was like, were you thinking about Sam Mills when you got him? Everybody knows that Sam Mills is a smaller guy, a very, very small guy that was undersized, but because he could play, he made a way. He made a ways to eat in the NFL. So all I'm saying is totally for this entire draft, you get a guy in Michael Barrett, like I say, you get Legette, you get Sanders, you get Brooks, you get Trevon Wallace. I'm going to grade this entire draft as a B minus. That's what my honest assessment is how I'm looking at things, because of where we got some of the guys and what we got. Like Trevon Wallace, to me, I don't think was a guy we should have taken in the third round. I like Xavier Legette. He was not my pick for a wide receiver. I wanted, like I said, Troy Franklin. But like I said, Xavier Legette is still a good pass catching option. He should be a number one receiver for us. Like I said, totally I give everything a B minus. The superstars are the tight end and the running back. Let's just be real. I'm telling you, these two guys are going to be dogs. If I see Jatavion Sanders hit that field and he catch a 20-yard, 30-yard Oh my God, he snagged one on somebody. I'm going crazy. I'm gonna tell y'all that right now. Your boy Q said it here. I'm calling it now. Those two young boys that we got are the foreseeable future of the Panthers. It's something about Brooks and Sanders. I love them Texas boys, man. Pause. No Diddy. I'm just leaving that out there. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna be real with you, and you can take it how you want. Most people get upset when you say things like that, but I try to be as fair as I can when it comes to assessing this draft and putting this thing out here because you want to be able to make sure that you have, like I said, a balance. You know, a balance with being fair, being just, looking at where the positioning is. Because when it comes to drafting, it's about having a plan. It's about knowing what you want. It's about scouting reports. It's about taking advantage of the position and where you get people at. That's what the draft is all about. And I think, like I said, Dan Morgan picking up that next round, that next year's second round pick was smart. So next year we could come into the entire draft next year with a full deck of cards. I can't ask for no more. Like I said, I was one of the toughest critics on Dan Morgan, but I can see the direction of where they headed with this thing. We're gonna run that ball. You gotta think about it fully. You have an offensive line that's been fully redone. You have a running back now in Brooks with him and Chuba Hubbard can split. They can really split the carries. You have a number one receiver in Legette. You have a number two in Thielen and Deontay Johnson. You got your tight end in the Jatavion Sanders. Like I said, you got great depth pieces behind them on the offense. We didn't have none of that last year. There's no excuses for your young quarterback. If he doesn't make it with what he has here, it's not in it for him to be the Panthers quarterback. There's nothing left to say when it comes to, hey, you went out and you gave him every single thing that he needed to be successful. Everybody said that separation, what it is. Well, you went and got Xavier Legette. He run a 4.39. That's why you were hell bent on getting him in the first round because he is separation. You went and got Deontay Johnson, who's number one in separation. Adam Thielen had 1,000 yards last year. This is a very serviceable offense now. So that's all I'm saying. There's no more excuses. I ain't giving them. And shout out to everybody in the chat if you ain't giving no more excuses either. It's time to keep it real. This is our year. And we're going to come back and do more videos on potentially where we see people sitting at, where we see ourselves in the NFC South. We're going to sit back and look at the drafts that everybody had. We're going to break down the NFC South as a whole because, like I said, it's time to get to it. Look, we done spent too long up in here with our heads down. It's time to hold our head up high. 2-15 is no more. We may not come out and win many games this year, but we will be competitive in those games this year. And that's all. That's all the fuck I want to be. Is competitive. Where I have a chance in these games to come out fighting, swinging. That's all I want, cuz. I don't want too much more than that. Because I wouldn't be realistic if I could come out here and say, hey, we're gonna win this and win that and win this. You're not being realistic. I just want to be competitive. So once again, this has been your boy WQ, and I'd like to welcome you all to the Black Cat Panther podcast. Make sure y'all check out Goat Talk for tomorrow. It's gonna be special. It's gonna probably go on in the daytime. Goat Talk for tomorrow. Your boy WQ is in the building tonight. Show that love by liking the video. Look down at the bottom of the video and like it. Keep us in that algorithm. And we're going to keep doing our just do and giving y'all elite content. So, if nothing more, y'all have yourselves a good night. It's your boy Q.